And side by side, there have been two mutually reinforcing shifts. Firstly, the system of production has got entangled with restructuring of scale hierarchies. Now the territorialization of production is actually become some kind of rather representing a metropolitanization. It is not the cities only, it is the peri-urban region of the cities which are getting involved in these kinds of production processes. And that has become very, very important in case of India. Because in India, as the major cities are pretty saturated, you find when the investment is structured, the investment really does not go to the interior areas, but the investment goes to the rural. And what is that rural? If you dig out, if you look into the map, if you look into the actual locations, you find that all these rural are located in the metropolitan regions of the big cities. So actually, these are all getting located in the metropolitan regions, which we call as peri-urban regions, or the global urban regions of the big cities. And secondly, as I told a little before, that the national states are refraining themselves as economic actors of the market, economic actors in the market. And they are moving away from the liberal urban policies, specific functions which were previously organized at a national scale and now being organized in different scales. And there is an up and down in the hierarchy, which we in human geography or in political economic analysis in geography, we call as scale jumping. There is a scale jumping now which is happening in the hierarchical order of the cities. And therefore you will find sometimes in India that the very big cities, mega cities, they are having a tie-up with a peri-urban region which really cannot come up to the scale according to the fashion of the hierarchy. But it is distortedly connected with the mother city through the chain of transnational production. And this particular new urban order, which started from 1970s, coincided with a time when the world capitalist regime became more and more neoliberalized, impacting the development process in many parts of the world. When there was a backtracking of the welfare state found to occur, when there was dismantling of institutional constraints upon marketization. These are the features which, which I'm trying to identify, or we have tried to identify as the features of neoliberalism, which are very much associated with the nature of the cities that are getting refashioned. Increased commodification, shrinking of organized jobs, hyper-exploitation of workers, downgrading of democratic rights earned through long-drawn struggles, and a tremendous economic uncertainty, which we find happening in India. There has been deregulation and privatization of state-owned and state-provided services, but definitely there has been a new kind of state intervention. And this state intervention is showing up the nature of the state having very large entrepreneurial ability, which is different from the earlier time, to roll forward rather new forms of governance. And this governance is a problematic word in India now. This governance is not really associating the democratically elected governments. And definitely India is a crucial example, and so I thought that I must share our viewpoints with the colleagues here. At city level, how it can be identified. It is characterized by increased constraints in planning and reduction of the political capacity of elected municipal governments. I'm very keen to know what happens in Hong Kong in terms of the elected municipal governments, in terms of privatization of basic services in the cities, withdrawal of state from urban development and urban development projects, escalating support to public-private partnership projects, increasing gentrification in large areas of the cities in India, not just the mega cities, but also medium cities, small towns, and a drastic change of land use. And in all this, we can see a growing exposure to global competition. In today's lecture, I would like to discuss this, an active engagement of all these ideas in the current urban policies in India. That is not only molding the entire concept of urban in the country, but also intensifying unevenness between cities, among regions. The material manifestation of these policies in India is resting on an aggressive strategy of politico-economic restructuring of space and regulation of basic services through upscale governance that itself has become an essential component of the entire scenario. And I will tell you, rather I will share with you, the recently launched, in 2005 it was launched, the Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission, which is popularly known as NURM, National Urban Renewal Mission in India, which actually epitomizes all these ideas, all these thoughts of reshaping the urban. I will talk about the basics of NURM first, to give you an idea what it is. Then I will give examples from a few cities, and then finally I will come to Mumbai. It's not because I'm hailing from Mumbai, but Mumbai is the blue-eyed boy of Indian government in terms of making it an IFC, that is International Financial Center. And this particular city is the most important recipient of funds of NURM. It's for that reason I thought that I should at least share with you some of the fallouts of these policies which are happening in Mumbai. Indian cities, the first thing which we find is happening in the Indian cities, that there is a tremendous remodeling in recent times as world-class cities. And we have been arguing for some time in India now that, from our planning lexicon, livable Indian cities is gone. It has always to be world-class cities. Some time back, I was in Calcutta, Kolkata, my native city, and we were having a seminar there on globalization and cities. And our state government was very keen to convince the people. I remember many of my colleagues from Southeast Asia, they had been there. They were very much, trying to convince them that yes, Kolkata is going to become a world-class city in no time. And like an innocuous fool, I asked him that I really don't understand why Kolkata has to be a world-class city. Why should it not be first a livable Indian city where anybody can come and live? And even people from other countries can come and stay for 5,